So welcome brothers to another Battlecast. This is the Vampire Coast week and we're going to play the Vampire Coast, and this time against the Beastmen. So in my opinion the Beastmen meanwhile are top tier faction. In the first game it was a little bit different. They were clearly a low tier faction the first game, but as I said, in the second game, especially after Mortal Empires, the Beastmen are a top tier faction. Even if they have still some lag in the variation of different lords, there are just 3 legendary lords available: Malagor, Kazrak and Morgor is by far the most competitive pick, so they don't have too much option to react to their opponents. But even though the Beastmen infantry performing superior, you can bring a large numbers to the battlefield, and this is the most important point there. So also here I think the matchup is clearly in favor for the Beastmen, even against the Vampire Coast. But let's start with my army composition. You can see I have a huge front line in order not to get outnumbered or to get flanked very hard from a huge mass of Beastmen infantry units. But we have just zombie pirate deckhand mobs with pole arms and a normal version over here, nothing special, a meat shield. But directly behind that I brought these depth guard. This is the double X version, you can say, with performing very well against the Beastmen infantry. Of course these guys are really expensive, but you don't need too much AP damage against the Beastmen, so the most Beastmen infantry units are not so heavily armored, so these guys perform really good. A damage dealer unit, and except for against the Bestigors, these guys slice and dice everything. Then I brought, for mobility purposes, 2 groups of Falbats and 1 group of deck droppers, and these guys can fire whilst moving, and in emergency case they can also go in melee combat. And as I said, for mobility purposes these guys are really good for sniping out Angor riders and all that stuff. Then I brought zombie pirate gunnery mob over here. This is the 300 credit version, and for the low tier infantry of the Beastmen, these guys perform very well. Then I brought Queen Bess, and this cannon I love this cannon over here. The damage output is devastating. We have just 2 problems over here. First of all, the price. We have a quite decent price with 1600 credits, and the second point is that this thing over here run out of ammunition very fast. So I think you have I guess 15 shots overall, and then this thing is out of ammunition. So with the gunnery white you can refill the ammunition a little bit, but overall it's not that much. But I mean, give me a break. 2 or 3 hits from this direct hits from this cannon over here for example on a group of Bestigors, and they are gone. So, and the Beastmen don't have too much tools, sniping tools, cannons, they don't have anything like that. So I think in this matchup this thing over here is quite decent. And last but not least I brought this legendary depth guard version, the Bloody Reaver deck guard, and these guys are anti-large, these guys causing AP damage, and I think it makes my front line a little bit more steady, and also for fights against the Gorbulls and stuff like that, I think these guys perform really superior. Even if they are quite expensive, I think the price is 1600 credits. And last but not least I brought Aranessa Saltspire, and this lady over here is a very important lord in my opinion, because she is anti-large. She's causing a good amount of anti-large damage, I think 38 or something like that, 43, and the IP damage is also very good with 280. Therefore the weapon strength overall is not the highest, but even though she's one of the fewer tools to handle it against large entities, and especially in this matchup against the Gorbulls, she is a very superior pick, and in my opinion quite competitive. So let's come to my opponent. You can already see he brought a lot of harpies to the battlefield, and this is also in my opinion a quite good pick for sniping out all the shooting units from the Vampire Coast, and for this reason harpies are really a good tool, even if they are quite expensive. And you can see the harpies are fighting now my Falbats, and my Felbats would clearly lose against the Harpies, but of course I supported my Felbats with my gunnery mob. But as I said, we have 3 groups of Harpies over here, and I think for interrupting all the shooting units of the Vampire Coast, this is a quite good pick. Even if I wouldn't brought 3 groups is a little bit much. Then we have Angor Riders, 2 groups. We have infantry of Angor Spearman Herd, Angor Herd, Gore Herd with shields, Gore Herd with shields, and Angor Spearman Herd with shields. So quite a mix. Of course, the Beastmen infantry is by far better than the Vampire Coast infantry overall. So in summary, of course, they would slice and dice my zombies. Last but not least, we have the more elite stuff over here in the background. 2 groups of Bestigors. One already took a hit from Queen Bess, and now we have another one. Bam! This was not that much. I think against low tier units or stuff like that, the damage output is much more, but you can see another hit or something like that, and these guys are completely erased, annihilated. Then we have Malagor Dark Omen. I think I like the build of my opponent overall quite much, but I wouldn't pick Malagor. I would bring Morgor to this matchup. Then we have 2 Gorbulls and 2 groups of Chaos Warhounds with poison. And yeah, nothing more to say about this. Let's start over here, and you can see I'm starting to shoot almost immediately on all these Harpies. We have a charge in here in the front line, very wide front line. It was very good that I deployed that wide, and wild fight going on also here. As I said, the Harpies would annihilate all my Felbats, but with the support of the gunnery mob, you can see one after another dropping down to the ground, and this was quite good. So we have one group already routing off over here. So we annihilated each other. So all my Felbats are dead, the Harpies are nearly dead. This was quite a heavy fight over here. I noticed on the right flank that this Gorbull here causing a lot of trouble, so I directly started with Aranessa Saltspire to attack him. And as I said, Aranessa and this she's designed for a fight like this. I mean, give me a break. She is, as I said, anti-large, supporting superior against the Gorbull. And what is also quite interesting is that she hasn't that much armor. So the amount of armor is just 20, and in this case this is not a disadvantage because the Gorbull has a huge amount of AP damage, but this is not really efficient in this match because, as I said, Aranessa Saltspire has not that much armor, so just 20. So in a 1-on-1 against the Gorbull, she clearly wins. So I netted the Gorbull with the Fisher's net, and also reduced the melee defense with 27. This is also a very cool ability to snipe out enemy large entities, hero lords and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the frontline fight was running quite equal, I would say. Of course, the Gore had sliced and diced all my zombies, but in the middle, the more steady stuff with the Bloody Reaver over here. This is really hard for my Beastman opponent to counter, even if the Bestigors should trade. Not trade. I'm not sure how's the fight in a 1-on-1 against a group of Bestigors, but at least they make my frontline much more steadier. And you can see the middle part of the infantry fight over here, frontline fight, runs quite equal. I managed it really well to stay alive, but on the sides you can see I get annihilated really clearly. So my zombie pirate gunnery merc doing a great job over here, shooting on the infantry units, shooting on the Harpies, and we have some Harpies coming back over here now, starting to attack my gunnery mob. I noticed that, of course, you can see I started to shoot. Even in melee combat they are not that bad, so this group of Harpies is quite heavily damaged, and so these guys are really able to handle it against such a damaged unit of Harpies. You can see they should be able, and I mean I have 3 groups over here, so they are really able to clean this up. So still a fight running with Aranessa and the Gorbull. You can see the Gorbull is some roundhouse kicks over here. I mean, this is This is insane. Give me a break. And yeah, it's not that fast, so it will take some time to kill the Gorbel with Aranessa, but even though you can see he's nearly not able to damage her. So this is quite interesting, that she's really a hard counter against him. You can see he's fighting against him, and just a few hits left, and he's history. He's gone. Now he's shaking. So really cool fighting animations from Aranessa, and that's it. And now I noticed, okay, I have to kill Malagor over here. I have to attack him now. He's engaged in a fight against some zombies. Now my Blood Reavers joining the fight over here. And of course I started with Aranessa to attack Malagor over here. In the background I managed it really well to force everything away, also with Queen Bess to kill the Angor Raiders, but they are quite dangerous for all my zombies. So it was really important that I constantly shoot on them with my gunnery mob, with Queen Bess and all that stuff. Now we have also here the Chaos Warhounds. Overall, I'm a fan of these guys also in this matchup, because these guys can really take care of my gunnery mobs, of artillery units, on all shooting units of the Vampire Coast. So I think this is a quite decent pick in this matchup. Malagor is a spellcaster, so it's not designed to fight in melee combat, especially not against Aranessa. So you can see he's half dropping more and more, and also his leadership he will rot off in a few seconds. So the Gorbel is engaged in a fight over here against my gunnery mob, but this is of course this is not the AP version, so these gunnery mobs causing nearly no AP missile damage, but it's also not necessary against the most Beastmen infantry. As I said, the most Beastmen infantry except for the Bestigors are not so heavily armored, but of course against the Gorbel these guys causing nearly no damage. And but anyway, we have a unit of Chaos Warhounds coming back. As I said, the Chaos Warhounds are very good in this matchup to have a good amount of a mobility and to snap out all these shooting units. But this is a very damaged group, and you can see I started to shoot on them, and also here these guys are really able to clean this up over. You can see they are now shattered. So Malagor is coming back, joining the fight again. Some Warhounds attacking my Zombie Pirate Deckhand mob. I can clearly say that the Zombie Pirate Deckhand mob, even if this unit gets annihilated now, is quite steady for that price. These guys are really cost efficient, much more cost efficient than the normal version, because these guys are really steady and able to defend themselves even against large entities. They are really able to hold the line for some time. I dispatched my artillery cannon crew because the Queen Bess ran out of ammunition. So I thought, okay, let's dispatch these guys over here and send them into battle. But it's not necessary. You can also see the Gorbel melting away. Also the Bloody Reavers doing a great job over here. These guys causing a tremendous amount of damage to the Gorbel. And we are so steady also in the front line against the infantry. They're also very, very steady. So this is a unit for 1,600 credits, but even though this is worth the price in this matchup, in my opinion, to have at least such a steady unit like these guys over here. So the Fisher's Net over here, now he's gone. He's destroyed the Gorbel. Malagor is still fighting. But overall, that's the end of the Beastmen infantry or the Beastmen army in this huge battle. Let's take a look on the stats, and you can see, as I said, the depth guard slice and dice the Beastmen infantry. The problem on the Vampire Coast infantry is that the cheap infantry is completely crap. This is just a meat shield, and the more the depth guard, the more steady infantry, the more elite infantry is very expensive. I mean, one group the price is 1,200 credits, so you get clearly outnumbered in quality. So the Beastmen infantry is much better in summary, as I said. But this combination over here is quite good. Zombie Pirate Gunnery up for 300 credits each is, in my opinion, the worth the price. We have the Falbats, of course. The annihilated gets annihilated from the Harpies, but also the Harpies gets annihilated. So this was this was okay. Queen Bess, not so much kills. I would probably say Queen Bess is a better pick against factions that are typically very heavily armored, because the AP missile damage is tremendous. And I think against heavily armored factions this is much more effective. Aranessa, no match over here. This is she's incredibly good in this matchup. Killed 2 Gorbals and Malagor. Okay, Malagor is a spellcaster, no problem over here. But you can also see the Beastmen infantry. The performance was superior. I like the build of my opponent much. If there would be one thing that I would change, is probably to bring at least maybe one group of basic or more, but not the 2 are probably enough. But what I would do is to bring Centigors. Centigors are really effective in this matchup, I would say. The Vampire Coast don't have too much mobility tools, therefore they have the artillery, and the Centigors are really fast. So I would bring at least 2-3 groups of the normal Centigors for 700 credits, not the great weapon version, to doing some rear charges in the back of the front line, killing all these gunnery mobs, killing all these shooting units, sniping out the artillery. For that purpose, I think 3 groups of Centigors would do a great job, maybe in combination with the Chaos Warhounds. But anyway, I hope you liked this battlecast. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give me a like or a thumb up, and see you on my next battlecast, and have a nice evening. Thank you.